Hello runners and welcome to Common Running Mistakes. My name is Dr. Cameron Garber and I'm here with Body Smart, where we love to help keep runners on the road. And so we're coming to you with one of our favorite common running mistakes regarding the hips. And it is that people often run through hip pain that continues to get worse and worse and worse. And so we want to avoid that mistake of running through that hip pain, especially if you've noticed that you have one leg longer than the other. So it's a really common thing. We call it a leg length discrepancy. And now there's a couple differences between leg length discrepancies. If you've had that leg length discrepancy since you were a kid, you probably already know this, right? If it's a true leg length discrepancy, an anatomical difference in the length of your legs, you probably knew that as a kid and you wear a special shoe, and that's kind of a different factor altogether. And that's a pretty good reason to come in and work with a physical therapist if you want to keep running, to get the right type of strengthening and to balance that out and to make sure that your shoe is appropriate for running for your body. More commonly though, we have a lot of runners that think their leg is longer, or they've been told by somebody that their leg is longer. And guess what? It's not actually longer. So it's usually because of a imbalance in your muscles attached to the pelvis, where it will tilt the whole bowl. So if you imagine your pelvic girdle as a bowl of water, and you can tilt the water out the front, out the back, or out the sides, or it can tilt kind of to the front and back at the same time. So to the corners, right? So if you imagine that bowl and say you've got a tight hip flexor over here and a weak hamstring over here, that tightness and the weakness are going to combine and kind of tilt the pelvis like this. It's going to make this leg appear a little bit shorter and the other leg appear a little bit longer. And so functionally, it's going to feel a little weird in your hips. It's going to feel like you're stepping in a hole on the one foot and feel jarring on the other. Really, really common amongst runners. We see that with track teams and stuff like that, people trying to push and pull and things. And there is actually a very specific set of exercises that you can do to eliminate this on your own. You don't necessarily need to go see somebody all the time, but I would recommend you come in, have somebody analyze it for you and see which direction you need to do this specific maneuver, this set of exercises. And so make sure it's a trained professional that trains you on how to do it. And you only want to do it the one way. I see a lot of people doing this self-balancing maneuver, and they'll do it one way and then the other way. And you really don't want to do that because the other way kind of sets it back off. And so we want to make sure that you're doing it the correct way. And that's why I'd come in, see a physical therapist that knows what they're doing, that has treated this before, and knows how to balance that out for you so that you can get those hips functioning properly and you don't have kind of what we call that functional leg length discrepancy. We definitely don't want that. We want you to be healthy. Some of the things that cause that functional leg length discrepancy, definitely that imbalance in the pelvis, where some muscles are stronger or weaker or tighter or whatever. One of the things that we have seen an uptick in recently, which in my opinion is probably because of the high cushion of shoes, is why we're seeing so much of it lately with that mismatch. The high cushion shoes tend to increase the impact forces actually. So it seems counterintuitive, but with a high cushion shoe, we're actually stomping the ground harder to be able to feel the ground. With a low cushion shoe, we actually tend to have softer footfalls because you adjust your running so that your footfalls are softer. So we're not jarring so much because you can feel the ground. Whereas with a high cushion shoe, because you can't feel the ground, you actually tend to stomp more so that you get more proprioceptive input. We tend to heel strike a lot heavier. We change our gait pattern to be more of a heel striking gait pattern. And a lot of people are actually, it's slowing their paces down and stuff like that. So in my opinion, it's not ideal to always run in a high cushion shoe. It has its place. But what we're seeing is a lot more low back pain, knee pain, and hip pain from the high cushion, the max cushion shoes. And so you just be careful in how you use those. And I wouldn't necessarily use those for every single run. But we're seeing that augment certain things like running on the camber of a road. So the roads will often slope towards the edges to allow the water to drain better. And so running on that consistently can sometimes cause some of that hip imbalance problems. And the high cushion shoe really augments that. So those max cushion shoes, that feel like you're running on pillows or running on marshmallows or whatever, although it feels soft for your feet, it actually is increasing the amount of force going through your body, because it takes the same amount of force to change the direction of your body. So as you're running and impacting the ground, no matter what surface you're running on or what shoe you're running on, it still takes the same amount of force to change the direction of your body, right? From going down as you impact and going back up as you spring back off. That force is the same no matter what. And so the fact that you're not feeling the ground and stomping harder and heel striking more, especially a heel strike out in front of your body, that's actually increasing that peak impact force and putting more force through your body. So it feels more cushioned, but it's actually putting more wear and tear on you. So there are some of your common running mistakes related to hips. Big key is come on in, get some help, have somebody analyze your gait and your hips and give you the right type of exercises for your body. That's what we recommend here at Body Smart. If you're here in our area, we'd love to hear from you. Reach out by making a comment or just direct messaging us. If you need help with your hips, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, share. And if you're not in our area, definitely reach out to us and we can help find somebody in your area that is a running professional that can help you. But we'd love to see you on the next episode so that you can keep getting our best common running mistake tips. Thanks. We'll see you on the next one.